Got a 2016 f150 with a 5.0. Have a PO022 camshaft position timing over retarded bank 2. So you want to remove your air cleaner box, remove the 7mm on the clamp, push your clip in on here, pull that off, and remove the tube going to the air cleaner tube. It's a little lever, you pull it over and then you can pull it up and do your 2 clips for your air filter. Now you have access to your valve cover. You want to pull up your little safety clips on your connectors and also on your coils, push them up. You can get to the back side of the connector and lift up so you can get them off the coils. Same thing with the actuators. So we're going to remove the valve cover on bank 2 and we're going to replace the actuators on the cams. Okay. Now you want to take the dipstick out so you don't break it. You want to remove your connectors. And then you want to remove your connectors off your coils. And then you want to pull your coils out. The coils are 8mm. Take the 8mm screws out and pull the coils up. When you pull the coil up, you want to twist them and pull. Okay? And then you might want to remove this off the vacuum booster. You'll have to push in on that, push it down, and then pull it off. Get it out of the way. See how that connector is? Push it up, get it out of the way, get it all the way up. Then you can come down here and you can squeeze it. Okay? And then the coils. You want them to look like that. Get it all the way up out of here. I'll pick it up a little bit right here. And I'll push it up. Same thing. Underneath it. Push it up. Get underneath there and lift up the little thing. Little tab in there. Pick up the white thing a little bit. Push it up. Push that one up. Get underneath there. Lift it up a little bit. And there you go. Now I'm going to remove my 8s. Okay. Got all my screws out. It's time to get your coil up. You gotta twist them a little bit and pull. Boom. When you get them out, look at the boots. Make sure they're not all corroded in there. Make sure you don't see no tracking. Tracking would be like dirt lines, black dirt lines. Okay. Get all of them out. And then we'll have to remove the harnesses off the valve cover itself. Get your door panel clip tool and lift them up, okay? Now you took your dipstick out, so now you want to get the tube off of there. This piece kind of goes into the valve cover. Make sure there's no dirt built up around, blow it off with a blowgun. You want to take it, and you want to turn it. Turn it, boom, and pull it. Pull it out like that. Okay? Make sure that tube comes with it. Okay? Don't lose it. Alrighty. Around all the bolts, full of dirt. So probably before we take any of this stuff off, we should probably glue it off. So now the stuff goes back down in there. Okay? I'm going to throw the spark plug boots back in there and my little dipstick, and then I'm going to blow it off. So make sure you blow it off before you take all this stuff off. And when you take the valve cover off, it's probably going to fall right inside there. Okay, I blew them all off best I can get them. It's like concrete in there. But yeah, 2 months ago I did bank 1. I did solenoids on that one too. And then now we got bank 2 codes coming on. So this is your door panel tool, so you want to use that for unclipping all your harnesses from the valve cover. Okay, flip up underneath them and you twist them up. All right. What I did was I did my vacuum line to my booster, And I took it off here too, and I pushed it up out of the way over there. Undid this vacuum line here. Undid from the fuel line. Got my line disconnected. I disconnected my injectors as I went along, and couldn't squeeze them very good because they're old and hard. So I got this hook. I get behind it, the connector, and I push up on the little clip that's inside there. Clips inside here. Pull and get in between there, and just open it up a little bit, and then I can pull the connector off. So now that's loose. Now this harness in the back clips to the valve cover a little bit, but I'm gonna leave that one alone for now. See if I can get in there. So now I'm gonna go around and take all my bolts out that I can. With 10 millimeters. Okay. Some of the heads on the bolts are kind of rusty, and the socket don't fit on it very good, so you don't want to strip them off. So get them on there. Tap them on there squarely with a hammer. And then break them loose, and then you can use your air ratchet. And then as soon as you break them loose, they stick to the bolts pretty good. So as soon as you just get them, break them loose, then try to break the socket loose from the bolt head. When you get them all the way out, they get kind of flexy into the plastic, and you don't want to try breaking them loose off the bolt head when they're sticking in the plastic only. You still want them in the head a little bit. Okay, this one's great. See it? Full of rust. And the head is rounding off. To get me it's a 10 millimeter, but I'm going to try a 3/8 because 3/8 is smaller than a 10. So I'm going to tap it on 3/8 and see if I can break it loose. I'm going to blow out that rust, and then the 3/8 socket, pound it on there, and see if I can break it loose. Okay, I broke it loose with a 3/8. Now I'm going to break my 3/8 from the bolt head. Okay, I got it off. Now I'll put it back on there, and then I'll remove it. Okay. And it's totally loose from the head, and you can just pull it up. And it's not stuck to it. And hopefully I'll get lucky on the rest of them. Okay, on this back corner is a ground wire. It's got an 8 millimeter nut on it, so you got to remove the 8 millimeter nut. You might want to spray some rust penetrant back there on that stud and nut. You want to use a deep wall socket. There's a stud sticking up off that back valve cover bolt. Okay, there it is. Okay, put on that back stud with the round. Okay, you got one bolt there, no bolt there, and a bolt up there in the corner. We already got no bolt there and a bolt there. Okay, no bolt, bolt. Okay, get them all. I got one more to get loose, and I'll shake the valve cover loose. Holy cow, Batman! Get yourself a brake spoon. Pry underneath here. Work your way around the whole valve cover. Make sure all your little bolts are loose. Yeah, I got it loose. Finally. Get it loose, and you can get those two that line off the back, the wire harness. You'll probably end up breaking them, the little clips. But anyway, get the cover out of there. And we're gonna replace these. Okay. This is what we're replacing. Held in with two 8 millimeter bolts. Okay, we're gonna break them loose and then thread them out, and then they just come right out. When you unthread them equally, because you don't want to lose your bolts, because you'll lose that little black retainer. So unthread them equally. And just pull right up. And you see that hole? right there, there's a pin right here. It's a alignment pin. Make sure you line them like up and they're going back together. Okay, and they just lift right up when you get them loose. Just don't unbolt them unequally, then you'll lose them black with little retainers. So don't forget about your little lineup dowel pin. Okay, clean it up and put the new ones on and tighten them equally. There's a new one. They're both the same part numbers, so remember, line up your dowel. Don't give up little black things and snug them up equally and make sure it goes into that little pin down below equally. Okay. Alright, just tighten them up with your hand with a nut driver. Snug them up with a nut driver, and then come down here and stick your finger on there. See if you can feel that little dowel pin sticking through. You see the dowel pin sticking through, then you know you're lined up. All you need to do is do your little torque on them. It's not very much. I have to look it up. And I'm just going to tighten them up with a ratchet. Like maybe 100 inch-pounds, something like that. Okay, and dowels are sticking through. I torqued them. Clean up my valve cover surface. Make sure you don't lose the silicone when it falls in there. Make sure you scrape it up. Scrape this one down and hold on to the pieces so they don't fall in there. Clean it up and get your new valve cover gasket, new seals, and put it on, and then start your bolts. I always put a little bit of anti-seize on my threads on my bolts. Okay. I'm gonna put some solenoid on your spark plug boot seals and your solenoid seals. And put your valve cover gasket on. Start with the nubs that go in here. Find them and then put them in there. And then go around each one, get them in the half moons first, and then seat them. Half moon, seat that, half moon, seat that, half moon, seat that. Because if you work your way around like this, and it kind of like stretches it. If you do the half moon and work your way back, and it puts it in there evenly. So now this is ready to go. I put some silk glide on my spark plug tubes and my solenoids on the engine. I'll put some silicone on here, on the heads, and then I'll put my valve cover on and start my bolts. Okay, I placed it in there, pushed it down. Now I just gotta work my way around and do all my valve cover bolts. If you drop a valve cover bolt, drop what you're doing, find it. Don't assume that it's outside. So make sure you find it. You don't want to be stuck in the engine anywhere and do engine damage. So, all right, get all the bolts started in an equally fashion and then tighten them up. Okay, you got all your bolts tightened. Look around, make sure you don't have no harness or connectors stuffed underneath the valve cover. And don't forget about that back ground. Put that on now. Put your little nut. Okay, you got your ground, your little nut tight. Now we'll work on our harness and connect all our connectors for our injectors. And then we'll put our spark plug coils in. Okay, got all my coils in and my connectors connected and my little locks pushed back in, okay? I do my vacuum lines. Okay, got the vacuum lines connected, this one, that one. Now I do is just get my tools out of here, and don't forget about your dipstick tube. Put that in, push it in there, push it in there, and then turn it. Start like that, turn it up, okay, and that's where it goes, okay. Now I'll put the air cleaner tube back on and my air filter and start it up and see how it runs. Looks good, no smoke, no check engine light. Just so you know, when you're putting the valve cover in there, make sure fits nice and flat. If it don't fit flat, then the gasket's not in there properly. So double check that. Okay, we're all set. Don't want no oil leaks. Okay. Don't forget your dipstick. Don't forget to tighten your clamp up for the throttle body. Put your air filter in. Connect your hoses back up. Double check your oil level and your coolant. Start it. Shut it off. Drive it some more and shut it off. And then drive it again. And then recheck your codes. Okay. That's it.